welcome to another recap of Dancing with the Stars. It was the performance show tonight, and Homer got the memo. He showed up for the recap. Good boy. Alright, so they're doing dances that mean something tonight, their most memorable year. So Jack Wagner and Anna were up first, or Anna, and his year was 2011, which was like last year, because this is 2012. And some girl showed up backstage at one of his concerts and was like, "You don't know who I am, do you?" And he was like, "No, I'm your daughter." That's crazy. Alright, so they did a samba to one of his songs. Let me just start off by saying that all of the judges' scores tonight were horseshit. They didn't mean anything, because they are not going to give them the real scores on a night that is this emotional, and almost everybody cried. Almost everyone. So, that being said, his samba was no good. It had no bounds. He was stiff. The judges didn't want to bring down the room, so they ended up giving him a 24. Maria Menounos was up next with Derek. Her year was 1988 when she was 10 years old. And her parents were janitors. I guess they were like cleaning people. They cleaned bars in Boston. So supposedly she put any quarter she would find on the floor into the jukebox and watch Madonna's Material Girl. Alright, so I don't know what that had to do with this dirty, dirty, dirty Roomba that she did. It was dirty. People were, you know, don't get me wrong, it was great. But it was so dirty. People were like, did they kiss? They practically had intercourse on the floor. So I think they probably did kiss, because it was, you know, bordering on intercourse. Then they had this weird clip of her wrestling match for WrestleMania. Doesn't your day job or other day job pay enough? Kind of weird, but 27. The more sad the story, the higher the judges' scores. If your memorable year was not a tearjerker, you were pretty much guaranteed to get a low score. Especially if you weren't that good. Alright, so Gladys and Tristan were up next. Her year was 1957. It was when she went on her first tour with the Pips. And they did a foxtrot to Cupid by Sam Cooke. It was at a Susan Lucci tempo. He was just basically walking her around the floor in slow-mo. I know, Homer. Can you believe it? Even Homer was disgusted. 24, which just happened to be the lowest score of the night. On any other season, it would not be the lowest score. Alright, Roshan and Chelsea. His year was 1996 when he went to see Michael Jackson in concert, and he actually danced to a song of the Jackson 5, I Want You Back, and Chelsea had Michael Jackson's choreographer come in, which was kind of cool, and they made up this whole routine where it was like this fusion of samba and Michael Jackson moves, which I thought was really cool. But the judges didn't think so, because it wasn't really that much of a tearjerker. So Carrie Ann was all nitpicky. Give me a break. They ended up with a 25. The scoring is just effed tonight. Doesn't mean anything. Alright, Gavin and Karina up next. He is from upstate, by me up here, the next county over. So he was dancing to New York State of Mind, Billy Joel song, because he decided that he wanted to be a performer after he saw Billy Joel in concert. Thanks, Homer! And he moved to New York City. And you know what? I moved from New York City up here. It's kind of ironic. And he moved from up here down to New York City to try and get a job. His dad came to visit him and went door to door trying to find him a job. A gig, if you will. And I was so happy to see that he finally took the hat off. Why were you keeping it on? You're not all Voldemort under there. There's no need to keep that on. If you got a decent haircut, it would look really nice. But then I was really sad to see that he put it back on for the performance. Baby steps, I guess, right? Baby steps. So they did a Roomba. and his hips were locked up. And Carrie Ann was all like, oh my God, that was so sensual, and you made me so hot, and blah, 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 and you so much improved. No, it was a slight improvement. Slight. It was not sexy. Not when you can't move your hips. So he ended up with a 24 because they weren't giving out anything less than a 24 tonight. Catherine and Mark were up next. Now this, I think, was one of the most emotional stories of the night. Her year was 1996 when her father passed away. And quickly. It was like, boom, you've got cancer. Oh, better get to the hospital. It was bad. So she danced to a Josh Groban song, A Waltz, and it was beautiful. She just floated. It was a really great routine. She did a really great job in it. There was not a dry eye in the house. It was the most emotional song, so she got the highest score, 29. She did deserve it, though. The other people, not so much, but she definitely deserved her score. Sherry and Val up next. I didn't catch the year, but I guess it was only a few years ago when her son was born prematurely, and she didn't know if he was going to live or not. And that was pretty emotional too. They did a Rumba. It was okay. She seemed really emotionally detached during the whole thing. Like when you go to the doctor and you have to take off your clothes and you're just like, you don't want to look anywhere down because you know you're naked. That's what it seemed like to me. So she ended up with a 24, which I'm a little surprised because her story was very emotional. But I guess the whole detached thing, even though they were like, oh, that was so emotional, I don't know. Melissa and Max up next. Hers was 2010 when she broke her back. When she fell when touring with Little House on the Prairie, the musical. Who makes this up? I did not know that there was a Little House on the Prairie musical, much less touring. All right, so she danced to jive to one of Maddie's favorite songs, Don Mazzetti, The Dog Days Are Over. All right, so it was a bit of a hot mess, and when I say a bit, I mean a lot. The jive parts anyway, and other stuff. So she ended up with the requisite low score, a 24. Homer, stop getting so excited. He was excited because Jaleel was up next, and Jaleel, his year was, I don't know, but it was when he played Stefan Urkel, the slick alter ego of Urkel. He did a Rumba. Will you stop it with Kim? And it was sexy, and it was smooth, and it was so cool. Right, homie? And, yeah, he ended up with a 25. He didn't make anyone cry until after the judges already programmed in their scores. Fool, you gotta whip up the tears first. So then William and Cheryl were up next, and his year was 1995 when he came to America. Now he did this salsa, and let me tell you, he knew what he was doing. It was sloppy, but he knew what he was doing. It was a lot of fun, and it was hot. So the tears didn't matter. It was a 28 for them. Then the last couple of the evening, another tearjerker was Donald and Peta. And his was 2010 when his best friend died from cancer in his arms. Oh, I just almost lost it. It was horrible. So they did a Rumba. I thought he gave a really great performance. Even though it wasn't that smooth, I was really feeling it. 26. I'm surprised the judges didn't bump him up a little bit, but I guess because, you know, it was a little stiff. So, tomorrow night, I don't know who's going to go home. It's basically up to you guys because the scores, like I said, they don't mean anything. I'm thinking it might be Gavin. Doesn't anyone like him? I like him. I mean, I'd like to see him go a little bit further. But, you know what? It's people are going to be voting on emotions tonight. So, tomorrow night, it's going to be Seal and Rascal Flatts. Like, Rascal Flatts hasn't been on this show like 1,000 times already. Or am I thinking other reality shows, but I mean, they made the rounds. So, are you excited, Homer? Until next time, much love.